Our friend Ken Decoster is here from the Sheriff's Office and CrimStoppers. How are you?
Riley, I'm doing well. How are you?
I've got nothing to complain about. Good to see you.
Thank you. You too.
You still golf? You get out and
when
work
I
some of
find
that in?
time, sure. I love, a beautiful game. I love the game.
And often you could be found running the bike path.
At my advanced stage, walking the bike path. Now, I enjoy
At 35 is the cutoff? Is that what you're saying,
yes,
Ken?
good, brisk walk. Mm-hmm.
That's what I do as well. But then again, even when I was in my teens and 20s, I didn't care to do the running.
Mm-hmm. Kind of hard on the knees, at least in my case.
Yeah, that's why in track and high school, sprint, done.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted, if I had to run, I wanted to run and then stop. Not
get it over with.
Yeah, it was 18th minute of running really hard. No.
I appreciate distance runners. I've never been a distance runner, but when I was younger, I did a few 10Ks, so 6.2 miles. But most distance runners, when you see them approaching or you pass by them, the expression on their face is one of pain and agony.
Right. Yeah.
Are you having fun doing that?
It looks like they just escaped an interrogation is what it looks like. Runner's high, huh?
Yeah.
Feeling good about things? Excellent. Yeah, no, that's why, a couple of weeks back, Adidas had all the social media trouble because they had posted something saying, congratulations, you survived the Boston Marathon.
Oh, right.
Which, people were saying they're the worst people in the world on social media and yelling at them and all that. And we talked about it here. Little history lesson. The first guy who ran the marathon dropped dead. So
I did not know that.
Phidippides, the first guy back in ancient Greece who whole thing, battle of marathon, that's where it came from. Yeah, when he relayed the message after running 26.2 miles, he fell dead.
Wow.
And people die during marathons all over the world all the time, which is why I didn't think Adidas was out of line in saying that. Mm-hmm. You remember a few years ago. Well, okay, but that's not what they meant.
Right.
Adidas wasn't, lucky no one blew you up this time.
No, it wasn't
really
snarky at all.
And a race like that has taken its toll on human beings over the years.
Sure.
So, yeah, no. And the idea that people do it for fun. Mm-hmm.
Remember the long-distance runner and author Jim Fix?
I do. The Book of Running.
Was it a heart attack?
Yeah,
and
massive heart attack, like in Central Park, something along those lines.
42 years old, something like that.
Yeah, and he's the one who really put running on the map as far as, I don't want to say there were people who were running before, but really brought in made the tent bigger, I guess. And because I remember the picture on the book cover of Fix had some calves on him, and it was all this rippled muscle and a leg running across. But then again, when he has a heart attack and dies while running, critics of running had a field day with it.
Sure. It's just, it always amazed me, these people who can run 26 miles.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Or the ones who do the ultra marathons or those 40, 60, 80-mile road races. There's one in California. There's a Death Valley one that's run that's like 40, 50 miles.
Yeah, let's run 40 miles in 115-degree heat in the desert.
Right.
That sounds like a plan to me.
I believe if you are a person who does that, you should never complain about anything ever in your life about anything. Hi, how's the temperature in here? Fine. It's just fine. Everything is fine. I run in 115-degree heat for 40 miles. Nothing bothers me. That would be me. Anyway, on to the business at hand, and that's police business. You brought a bunch of information with you.
Riley, next month will mark 30 years since the murder of Tammy Tracy.
Wow.
She disappeared Memorial Day weekend, 1987, Saturday, May 27th, 1987, as I recall. And she was gone for 11 months. And just a brief history lesson, she was a young lady, I want to say 21 years old, graduate of Auburn High School. And our colleague Fred Spear reported on this when it happened and when her body was found the following year. As I recall, she was at Cyril's Park waxing her car, and then she didn't come home, or there was concern, and her car was found locked, windows rolled up, as I recall, and she vanished. She had not been found, and As you might recall, Riley, the coverage, the media coverage of this was very widespread.
It was extensive, yes.
Extensive, thank you. And there were the family, I believe, and supporters of the family took out billboards around town, expressing hope that she would be found alive and unharmed. And Tammy, we miss you.
Right.
We're praying for you. And ultimately, the following April 1988, her remains were discovered in the Sugar River Forest Preserve. An autopsy determined her skeletal remains had been discovered, I believe, by a jogger. And I still remember Fred Spear reporting from the scene back in April of 1988. The autopsy confirmed the remains were those of Tammy Tracy, and that the autopsy indicated she had been stabbed and shot. And to this day, 30 years next month, no one has been charged with her murder.
Yeah, unsolved. This was one of those, you'd be flipping through TV, you'd see on cold case files.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And maybe I'm naive, and I know for a fact that the Sheriff's Department has a cold case team, and that hopefully one day justice will be served on the person.
Somebody someplace knows
person
something.
Or persons responsible for. Yeah, there are a number of unsolved homicides in Rockford and Winnebago County, Riley. The murder of Tammy Tracy 30 years ago, next month, is one of the most high-profile unsolved killings.
And for like you had mentioned in the history, for those who weren't around at that time, I mean, seriously, that was everywhere, all around the clock for the longest time.
Right. So hopefully,
if somebody out there knows, pick up the phone and call CrimStoppers.
The men and women,
it's never too late,
of the law enforcement community will get a tip. We'll develop some new leads, and this horrible crime will be solved.
They've got long memories, and the people who run these sorts of things down, I'm glad we have people with long memories like this, too.
Sure. Riley, in more recent history, the other night, Saturday night, shortly before 10 p.m., police were called to the 900 block of Harding Street for reports of an armed robbery. The victim told investigators he was delivering a pizza when he was confronted by two suspects, one armed with a handgun. The suspects took the victim's phone and an unknown amount of cash before running away. No injuries were reported. Anyone with information in this case is asked to call Rockford Police, 815-966-2900, or Rockford CrimStoppers, 815-963-7867. A couple of occupations that strike me as ones that would be too dangerous for my liking. Pizza delivery man.
Yep.
Cab driver, Uber driver.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and in this day and age, they don't carry a lot of cash.
Right. Luckily. But yes, at the same time, I would agree with you that you'd have to have your head on a swivel at all times, and even that isn't enough.
And typically, people who are in the business of being criminals will call for a delivery at a vacant house, and then they kind of wait, and the guy gets out of his car and approaches this house, and then they'll
announce themselves.
Right.
Yeah. So be extra nice to the people who do that for a living. That is not an easy gig.
Last Wednesday, April 19th at 11:30 a.m., patrol officers from the Rockford Police Department responded to the area of West Jefferson and Henrietta in reference to an armed robbery attempt that had just occurred. Upon arrival, officers met with the victim, who told police that a white male had just tried to rob him at gunpoint. The victim further stated he was hit on the head with a gun by the suspect. The victim ran from the suspect. Nothing was taken. The victim suffered a minor injury. Patrol officers located a juvenile suspect that matched the description of the suspect in the 400 block of Royal. Detectives from the Rockford Police Department conducted a follow-up investigation into the incident, and the results were reviewed by the State's Attorney's Office. As a result, attempted armed robbery and aggravated battery charges were authorized, and the suspect was lodged in juvenile detention. He is a 17-year-old male charged with attempted armed robbery, aggravated battery. Detectives continued their investigation. The results were reviewed by the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office. Further charges were authorized, and a warrant was obtained for 24-year-old Christopher Jackson of Rockford. He is wanted for conspiracy to commit armed robbery. His bond is set at $75,000. But again, here's an example, Riley. 11:30 in the morning,
right,
broad daylight, an attempted armed robbery with a gun.
Yeah, was the sort of thing that you think, well, that's a nighttime sort of crime. I mean, I'm on 11:30 in the morning. There is no perfect time. No, and good work by the cops once again too.
Riley, we're looking for the following 4 individuals. 34-year-old Christopher Bauman is a white male, 5'7", 240 pounds. He's wanted for domestic battery. 24-year-old Delinda Dismuke is a black female. She is 5'3", 170 pounds. She is wanted for deceptive practices. 25-year-old Quentin Cobb is a white male, 5'10", 180. He's wanted for theft. And finally, 22-year-old Jana Ruggles, white female, 5'6", 220. She's wanted for driving on a revoked license. If you know the whereabouts of any of the individuals I've just mentioned, give us a call at Rockford CrimStoppers, 815-963-7867, or call us toll free at 888-769-STOP. We do offer cash rewards of up to $1,000 for valid information that results in the arrests of wanted suspects.
RockfordCrimeStoppers.com is another place to go as well. Get a look at some of the photos that Ken talked about here this morning as well. Good to see you as always.
Riley, always good to see you. Thank you for the time.